The question of free will and divine knowledge is both profound and complex. How can humans have free will if a higher power already knows everything we will do? This apparent paradox has intrigued philosophers, theologians, and thinkers for centuries. To unravel it, we need to examine the concepts of knowledge, choice, and causation carefully. First, let's consider what it means for a higher power to know everything. Knowledge of the future does not necessarily mean causation. For instance, if someone sees dark clouds forming in the sky and predicts that it will rain, their knowledge doesn't cause the rain. It simply reflects what is going to happen. In a similar way, knowing an outcome doesn't interfere with the process leading to it. When we talk about divine knowledge, we are speaking of a reality beyond time and space. If a higher power exists, then it is not bound by time as we are. For us, time is linear. We experience past, present, and future in sequence. But a timeless being would see everything, past, present, and future, simultaneously. This does not mean that our choices are dictated, only that they are already known from this timeless perspective. Imagine watching a recording of a sporting event. While watching the replay, you already know the outcome, but the players in the game were making their decisions freely when it was happening. Your knowledge of the event doesn't alter the choices they made. This analogy helps us understand how foreknowledge and free will can coexist. Let's add another example to make this clearer. Imagine a teacher who knows their students so well that they can accurately predict whether a student will pass or fail an exam. This prediction is based on the teacher's understanding of the student's habits, abilities, and effort. However, the teacher's knowledge doesn't force the student to pass or fail. The student still has full control over their decisions, whether to study, how much effort to put in, or whether to even take the test seriously. The teacher's prediction reflects their insight, but does not override the student's free will. Now let's delve into the nature of free will itself. Free will means having the ability to choose between options without being forced into one path. It doesn't mean acting without any influence or guidance, but it does mean that the ultimate decision rests with the individual. If we lacked free will, moral accountability would be meaningless. Responsibility for actions, good or bad, only makes sense if the actions are chosen freely. Some might argue that if every choice is foreknown, it feels like we are simply playing out a script. But this perspective overlooks the distinction between knowing an action and causing it. Just as in the example of the teacher, foreknowledge doesn't mean compulsion. Another point to consider is that free will and divine knowledge serve distinct purposes. Free will allows humans to make choices, grow, and be accountable. Knowledge, on the other hand, reflects the completeness and perfection of the higher power. The two operate in harmony without conflict. Some might ask, if a higher power already knows who will succeed or fail in life, why create people who will choose wrong? This question assumes that life's purpose is purely about outcomes. But life is more than a test of success or failure. It is a journey, an opportunity to strive, to learn, and to grow. Even those who make mistakes have the chance to learn and change. Every person's existence has meaning, even if it is beyond our understanding. Consider also the balance of guidance and choice. A higher power provides signs, teachings, and instincts to help guide humanity. But accepting or rejecting that guidance is left to each individual. Guidance is like a roadmap. It points the way, but walking the path is a choice. It is also worth reflecting on the idea of justice. A higher power is not arbitrary or unjust. If humans truly lacked free will, holding them accountable for their actions would be unfair. Accountability only makes sense in a world where choices are real. Therefore, the existence of justice itself points to the reality of free will. Think about the emotions tied to our decisions. Regret, pride, guilt, and satisfaction are deeply tied to the choices we make. These emotions wouldn't exist if our actions were predetermined. The fact that we experience them so intensely shows that our choices are meaningful and real. Another important aspect is that divine knowledge is comprehensive. It not only encompasses actions, but also intentions, thoughts, and circumstances. This deep knowledge ensures that every decision is understood fully, with all its context. Such knowledge doesn't constrain free will, it acknowledges it in its entirety. Ultimately, the coexistence of divine knowledge and human free will reflects the balance between guidance and autonomy. A higher power provides the tools, the wisdom, and the path, but the journey is ours to take. This balance preserves our individuality while connecting us to a greater purpose. The question of free will and divine knowledge is not a contradiction, but a window into the complexity and depth of existence. It challenges us to think deeply, to act responsibly, and to appreciate the harmony between choice and destiny. Our free will is a gift, one that allows us to shape our path while being part of a design far greater than we can fully comprehend.